The man, the myth, the legend, the take artist himself, Colin Cowherd is back with new, fresh NFL standings to react to. Shout out to Colin Cowherd for more great content. Thank you. And if you enjoy this content on the Bottom Line View and NFL reactions just like this, Gronk spike the like button. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on Colin's NFL standings. I have yet to watch this video. I'm very excited to see all the hot takes, the outrageous claims, and everything in between. Don't forget to subscribe for more NFL content just like this here on the Bottom Line View. Now it's time to find out whether Colin Cowherd will shine on the bottom line. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Okay, Colin, what you got for me today? I'm excited, man. I love these videos.
So this is my pre-camp, before any injuries, pre-camp predictions.
Pre-camp.
Let's start in the AFC East. The Bills of
my division, the AFC East. Okay, so he's got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, and then the Patriots. I would say that that's probably the way that Vegas has it, if I'm not mistaken. That's probably most common in the rankings out there. Now, I personally, and I will admit, it's a bit of a hot take, but from where I stand, I have it Bills and Jets, Dolphins, Patriots. I have my Patriots bottom, although I do claim that they have more potential and more talent than people will give them credit for. I have the Dolphins 3 because I don't like their offensive line. I think they have a lot of players that are older and will probably get injured. I think the Jets defense running game will carry them to a pretty good season, along with Aaron Rodgers kind of steering that ship, although I could definitely see that not going well. So the Jets are a bit of a bold claim, but their defense is so good. They have so much talent. They've improved the offensive line. There's so many aspects I like about the team. I think they're going to slip into the wild card race. And the Bills are number 1 because they've won this division 4 years in a row. They've got the best quarterback in the division by a mile. And they've got a very steady culture, right? They might not even have the most talented team or even the second most talented team in this division. But they got Josh Allen. I like the O-line. I like James Cook. I think they've got enough receiving options. Look out for Curtis Samuel. And the defense, I think, is always steady under McDermott. So that's the order I have it. No real strong disagreements here. Outside of like Jets, I have slightly over the Dolphins, but that's fair.
Won the division 4 straight years. I'm giving it to them. The Dolphins, it's an offensive league, had the number 1 total offense in the NFL, and Tua threw for 4,600 passing yards.
Question about Tua, because I know Colin is going to bring up injuries in this video. Do we trust Tua to stay healthy the entire year? If he brings up injuries with Aaron Rodgers and does not do it with Tua or the Miami roster, who has Teron Armstead, who misses 6 games a year, who has guys like Isaiah Wynn and David Long, who are always injured, then I think we have an issue.
It's an offensive league. The Jets 3rd, yes, they have a great defense. O-line questions, head coach is defensive.
O-line questions. Not for Miami, but for the Jets. Right, Tyron Smith, Simpson signed, Morgan Moses, Elijah Vera Tucker. I don't know. They drafted the 1st round pick, left tackle. Colin, do your research, bud. Offensive line of the Jets is pretty good.
Aaron
I do agree that Saleh sucks.
Has not taken a snap. More than 4 snaps in 559 days in the NFL. Hasn't taken more than 4 snaps. Sorry about the great defense. Jets 3rd, Patriots 4th. I think that's the 1st or 2nd worst offensive roster in the league. And
the Patriots? They're definitely in the bottom tier. I'm not going to debate that. The one thing I do agree with Colin here is the state of Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of people that are much higher on the current product of Aaron Rodgers than I am. And clearly Colin is much lower, but I just think there's for different reasoning. I think Colin legitimately does not like Aaron Rodgers, and I am just being realistic. Like, the guy's old, and he's coming off an Achilles injury. Every time Colin talks about Rodgers, though, it feels like he actually doesn't like the man, which is where I'm like, Let's just relax, bro.
AFC North, it's the best division in football, so it's inches, not feet. Listen, the Ravens.
I don't mind these. The only thing I would alter here is the Bengals over the Ravens. I think the Browns and the Steelers is debatable, but as I've come to the conclusion, I do think I have the Steelers ahead of the Browns. I just like the makeup of the Steelers team this year. I think the Steelers have an offensive line that I'm very excited for. Arthur Smith is the best offensive coordinator they've had in years. I think George Pickens could take a step forward. And I think Russell Wilson is a steady leader of this team and also connects to the way they want to play. Defensive, don't turn the football over. That's my concern with Deshaun Watson. Might turn it over too much, might get sacked and hold the ball too much. I think Deshaun Watson is going to be an issue. I also feel like the Browns O-line is going to regress this year due to the lack of coaching, Callahan leaving to Tennessee. I do like the Browns roster a ton, though. The defense is fantastic. I think both those defenses are fantastic. They could go either way. TJ Watt, my guy. Minka in the back, right? They've got new and improved linebacker play. I think there is an argument that the Steelers defense could actually be better than the Browns this year, although the Browns was better last year. So that one is either way. Like the 3-4 is either way. 1-2 is either way. I think that the Bengals are about to have a huge year. Buzzcut Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, best offensive line Joe Burrow's ever had. Burrow and the Bengals hungry to prove everybody wrong. The Ravens have lost some pieces on defense. Their defensive coordinator, namely the offensive line, is much worse. I think Colin is underestimating the losses the Ravens have sustained. And I think he's also underestimating, like, pretty much the entire United States of America, underestimating how good the Bengals are when Joe Burrow actually plays.
Ravens, top 5 offense, top 5 defense, and the best special teams coach in the league. I have them winning the division. Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow have proven when Joe's healthy, they win. What do you want me to say?
I think both those teams are locks to make the playoffs, though, Ravens and the Bengals. Steelers and Browns both could make it, but just because of the division, it's going to be difficult.
Last year with Jake Browning, they had a winning record. With Jake Browning, Burrow's back in, they're a playoff team. Steelers,
Buzzcut Burrow.
They can't figure out their O-line or their offensive coordinator. I love their roster, frankly. I worry in an offensive league about getting it right on that side of the ball.
Yeah, but, okay, yeah, you can bring that up. Like, they haven't been great on offense. The offensive line hasn't been great, but can you not address where they actually improved in those areas? They've improved in those areas this offseason objectively. They drafted a first-round pick on the offensive line. Their first-round pick from a year ago is only a year older. They've got one of the best guard duos in the league. They drafted another center to add to the mix, and they got a former head coach to be the offensive coordinator, who last time he was an offensive coordinator, he was a member of the Titans who went to the playoffs multiple years in a row and got the best out of Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. So just saying, I address the areas where they have improved.
Love the coach in Cleveland. Total question mark on Deshaun Watson. Weird personality, weird injuries. I'll just put him fourth for now.
I agree with that.
AFC West, Kansas City until further.
Where's the South at? Why is he going east, north, west, south? I have never seen anybody do that in my entire life.
Notice.
Okay, Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. Okay. I disagree with this one pretty strongly. I would have the Raiders maybe even second on my list, but at least third. I don't understand the fascination with the Broncos. I think they stink. I don't really get it. I mean, they've got a rookie quarterback. The O-line is pretty solid overall. It's not like amazing, but it's solid. But they have no real weapons that are explosive or going to take over games, even Cortland Sutton included. The defense is I think a little bit better than I've given credit for in past videos, but they're not going to be carrying this team to success, especially post Justin Simmons leaving. So to me, like, the Broncos are dead last in this division. The Raiders have a potentially awesome offensive line, a potentially awesome defensive line, a better quarterback. Either way, I feel like, than Bo Nix personally. If like Gardner Minshew is proven in the NFL. Like, he just won a bunch of games last year for the Colts. Nobody thought they were going to win any games. They've got Devontae Adams, better weapons, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers. Like, the defense was top 10 last year in points against. I don't understand how the Raiders are not ahead of the Broncos. That is just point blank period. That is unreasonable to me. The Chargers, I can understand from the perspective of Harbaugh and Herbert. And if you love Harbaugh and Herbert, I can understand buying in on that. I just don't think they have enough talent. Unless Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are healthy the whole year, I think the defense is going to be bad. The linebackers are not good. The interior defensive line is not good. The corners are okay. Safeties are good. The O-line is decent, but they have no weapons, really. So, I don't know. I would go Chiefs, obviously. This is the weakest division maybe in the entire league. The Chiefs are going to dominate it. But then they've got I would have the Raiders second, the Chargers third, Broncos fourth. That's my opinion. You guys can let me know.
Won the division 8 straight times. Best coach in football, best quarterback. They get it. I think the Chargers have limitations on the perimeter, but don't be shocked if they don't make a move for Brandon Ayuk and potentially give up Mack or Bosa on their edge. They've got.
Is there anything behind that statement? If they give up, okay, they give up Joey Bosa, would the Niners do that? That's an interesting thought. I still think they would need to give up at least a second-round pick and Joey Bosa, though. But imagine Nick and Joey Bosa in the year 2024? I don't know, though. The Niners signed Leonard Floyd. Would they do that? I don't know. That's crazy. Khalil Mack? That guy had 17 sacks last year.
2 good edge rushers. They need a star receiver. They may make a move. In my opinion, I'll take them second.
I will say that, though. Okay, so he said they may make a move, in my opinion. That's interesting. Brandon Ayuk with Herbert would be sweet. I'd love that.
I like the Broncos more than Vegas, but PFF says worst roster in the league.
I agree, probably.
Broncos third, Raiders fourth.
It's at least it's 31 or 32, probably.
They've got a rookie coach and quarterback issues. Finally, AFC South, really.
AFC South, okay, Texans, Jags, Colts, Titans. This is the first one I 100% agree with, actually. I'm going to see what he has to say, but I think the Texans, I'm super high on them. I think they could be the first seed in the AFC. They have so much talent. They have a great pass rush. Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson coming off the edges, right? They've got great receivers, arguably the best trio of receivers in football with Diggs, Collins, and Tank. They got Mixon in the backfield, Stroud. They got D'Amico as their coach. Secondary, I think, will improve this year. I think linebackers got better in the offseason with Al-Shaair. So I think the Texans are going to win 12, 13, 14 games. They're going to be that good. Jacksonville, I think, will win 9 or 10, maybe sneak in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence could have a better year this year. O-line maybe a little bit better. Love the Bryant Thomas pick. And the defense, I think, is going to be better through their coaching of Ryan Nielsen. Their D-line's also pretty sweet. And then the Colts, I think, are a lot of potential, but I think they're maybe a year away. I think they're going to be a pretty good offense with a good defensive line, good run defense, but I think they're going to be a little bit up and down as a pass defense overall, a bit of an up and down pass offense overall. So I could see them being hit and miss. Tennessee, I think, has a lot of talent, but I'm really unsure about Will Levis as well as their head coach. I think there's still a lot of question marks about their O-line, question marks about their D-line. So the Titans, I think, are probably fourth, although I could see them finishing third. That's pretty well how I have the division. Let's see what Colin says.
Really much better division than people give it credit for.
It is.
I worried about the Texans pulling back, but they had another
pulling back. How? I mean, what? Realistically, how are you going to project that?
Really strong draft and free agency period.
Yep.
Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, I'll take them to win. I think it's Trevor Lawrence's best roster yet. Jaguars.
Interesting. Best roster for Trevor Lawrence yet. Is it better than the one a couple years ago? Probably, actually. Probably. Is it better than the one last year? I mean, it's pretty even, I guess.
Jaguars finished second. They were 9-8 last year, and Trevor Lawrence fell apart down the stretch. They'll rebound. I like the Colts, but I question Anthony Richardson's playing style and staying healthy. They're third. And the Titans, I have questions at quarterback, and their offensive line's worse than Will Levis, so I'll take them fourth.
Is it, though?
We go to the NFC.
Okay, let's see. So he has division winners, Buffalo, Chiefs, Ravens, Texans, wild cards. So he did include this. Bengals, obviously, Chargers, and Jags. So that would mean that the Jets and the Dolphins missed the playoffs in the AFC East. That means the Steelers and the Browns missed the playoffs in the AFC North. That would mean the Colts missed the playoffs in the AFC South, and every team in the AFC West except for the Chiefs, that's probably the Chargers are in. So the Chargers one is just like wild. I don't understand the Chargers. I guess if they have Brandon Ayuk, you can maybe talk me into it, but that's like you're floating out. They have to have Brandon Ayuk for this to happen. So I don't know.
By the way, I have 3 new playoff teams in the AFC. Bills, Chiefs, Ravens, Texans winning the division. Bengals, Chargers, Jaguars, wild card team. So that's 3.
Okay, so I would say if there's going to be 3 new AFC playoff teams, if this is what he's going for here, I would say that mine would be the Jets, the Bengals, and maybe Jacksonville. Probably. Let's just go with that for now so we can continue.
New playoff teams. That's the average. 3.5 to 4 is the average per year. I've got 3.
Although I could see 2, right? Like it's hard to, like the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Texans with those quarterbacks and the Bengals. The Bengals didn't make it last year, so I guess that's a free one. But
let's go to the NFC, where Philadelphia easily the best roster in the division.
Easily, it might be a little bit of a stretch because the Cowboys exist, but they definitely have the best roster in the division. This is absolute bonkers. This is what? The Washington Commanders, the second best team in the NFC East. Colin, the Washington Commanders might have the worst roster in the entire NFL. What? You must think Jaden Daniels is like the next Lamar Jackson.
Nick Sirianni, did he hire better assistants? They started last year 10-1.
I think so.
Then they fell off a cliff. I think they rebound. Maybe not a Super Bowl team, but very good.
I agree.
I'm going to go with Washington, new coach, new OC.
Colin, I know you have to have hot takes, but this is not it, bro. This is not it. The O-line still sucks. The receivers are incredibly overrated. They have no tight end. They've got 100,000-year-old Zach Ertz. Their running backs are mid, like not even mid. They don't even have like a real starter that's like top 20. Jaden Daniels, third best quarterback in the draft, probably for me. And I don't even know if he's going to be good in the NFL. The defense is no edge rushers that are like elite level. They've got decent ones now. The interior is good. The linebackers are good. The safeties are trash, and the corners are even worse. Like I don't know how Dan Quinn. Like you must think Dan Quinn is like Bill Belichick, like 2.0. I don't. This is wow. This is
new
wow.
Quarterback, new owner.
I don't even know how they would make the play. Like what? Like the O-line would have to get way better. Cliff Kingsbury would have to like coach his absolute behind off for this offensive line to play well. Oh, bro, this is not it. You guys let me know in the comments what you think.
I think they use that energy and juice to catapult. I think they're the surprise.
You know the Cowboys have Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons? And Zach Martin and Trayvon Diggs? Who do the Commanders have? Jonathan Allen?
Team in the NFL, Washington, second. Dallas is a very viable third, but I think they're top-heavy and overly dependent on Dak and CeeDee Lamb to carry the entire.
Sure, but who are the Commanders relying on? Terry McLaurin?
Their offense, Giants.
Marcus Mariota?
Just not good enough at quarterback. I pick them fourth.
The Giants suck.
Let's go to
I'm sorry, Giants fans. I don't even dislike the Giants. I just think they're going to suck this year. I just do. I don't know how to explain it.
The NFC North.
The NFC North, the Lions, the Packers, the Bears, and the Vikings. That's probably pretty accurate. That's probably what I'd have as well. I think the Lions and Packers are both locks to make the playoffs. I love both teams. I think they're both NFC contenders. The Bears are very talented, young, though, and that will cause some inconsistencies. And the Vikings, very well coached. They could maybe finish third, but they don't have much of a ceiling given the quarterback position. That's my take.
Detroit, number one offensive line in football.
Agree.
If you have the best offensive line in football, it's like having the best starting pitching staff in baseball. It gives you so many advantages over everybody else. I love their front office.
I think they have the best pure running game, most versatile running game in the league. Them and the 49ers, their ability to run power, zone, all this different stuff that they do and how that sets up the rest of their offense. They can run it on anybody, man. That is such an underrated element. And then you turn that around to their defense and their run defense. Now that they added DJ Reader next to McNeil in the middle, they're going to be top 5 in rushing, offense, and defense.
I love Goff. Not great defensively. They've tried to shore it up. I have Green Bay second. Best young offensive talent to me in the sport. They're not paying anybody until Jordan Love here in about a week. I take them for second. By the
Jordan Love contract coming soon?
The way they closed the season out winning 6 of 8 games and hammered the Cowboys in the playoffs. Chicago's a viable third. Can't wait.
I agree.
To watch them play, but it's a defensive coach on the hot seat and a rookie quarterback. O-line's good, not great. They're
I agree.
third. I think Minnesota's going to be the best fourth-place team in the NFL. I love
best fourth-place team. Well, he had the Raiders fourth. He had the Titans could be in that conversation. I mean, who knows? The fourth place is always kind of weird, right? So best fourth place. I mean, yeah, there's a strong argument there. I mean, with Flores and O'Connell, it's hard to get better than that.
Love their offense, and I'm rooting for Sam Darnold, but the division's too good. I think by the end of the year, we'll say this is the best division in football. I'll pick the Vikings as a...
That is not a hot take to me. They are the best or second best division in the league.
Really fun, dynamic number 4. Let's go to the NFC.
This man hates the 49ers. It's absolutely confirmed, and he is on drugs. Unless the 49ers get injured, which, by the way, it's probably more likely that Matthew Stafford gets hurt than the Niners roster. But PFF, and although I didn't like the list, just released their top 50 players in the NFL. They had 8 49ers. Plus, they have apparently the 6th best coach in the league, according to Colin. But even then, okay, they're not better than the Rams. The Rams had 0 top 50 players in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. This isn't even my top 50. The Rams are going to be better than the 49ers? Again, unless the Niners get hurt, it's not happening. Okay, it's not happening. I'm sorry. The Niners are that good. The Niners, I understand, Super Bowl hangover, whatever. It doesn't really happen when you have as good of a coach as Kyle Shanahan and as good of a roster as they have, and you don't lose any pieces on your team, and you probably get better on the offensive line. You probably get better in the secondary. Honestly, Niners are going to win 14 to 12-ish games, 11 at worst. Rams' ceiling is probably 11 or 12 games. They don't have Aaron Donald anymore. Did anybody forget they lost Aaron Donald and their defensive coordinator? Just saying. I like the Rams. I like McVay. I like Stafford. I like Puka. But come on, bro. Seattle is a strong 3. Seattle is a strong 3. I actually have the Rams in the playoffs. I might have the Seahawks in the playoffs as well. I think this is a really strong division. I think they could send 3 to the playoffs, but the Niners in second is just this guy hates the Niners.
West, yes, I like the Rams. I thought they had a back-to-back sensational drafts. Finished top 10 in total offense and scoring last year. I really like what they've done with their defensive front in the last 2 drafts.
Okay, so he likes the defensive front. Okay, so let's go through it. So quarterback, you'd probably give to the Rams, right? Running back, you'd give to the Niners. Wide receiver, you'd probably give wide receiver, tight end, you'd probably give to the Niners. O-line, you'd probably give to the Rams. Okay, so it's what? 2-2. D-line, Niners. Linebackers, Niners. Secondary, maybe debatable, but I'd still probably lean towards the Niners. Coaching, relatively even, although, I would say Niners. So they were just in the Super Bowl.
Niners are good, but they're an old, expensive football team.
Old? Trent Williams is old. Nick Bosa is 26.
Watch out for injuries and the Brandon Ayuk noise.
See, here's the thing, right? You can't predict injuries and then for one team and then not predict injuries for other teams. Like Miami. Like LA, the Rams. You can't just say, oh, Stafford's going to stay healthy. Everyone thought he was going to retire last year. Like, really?
Seattle, hey, they finished 9-8. Geno Smith's good enough to win you games. They have a new staff, a new coach. I'm going to take Shanahan and McVay over the rookie coach. They're third. I love Kyler Murray, but I just don't think Arizona roster right now can compete with the rosters above them.
Agree.
Finally, the worst division in football. I do think Atlanta getting Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix will stabilize the quarterback position.
The Panthers over the Saints. Saints fans are going to hate that. I will say with Ryan Ramczyk going on PUP, I am scared for the Saints. I'm scared for Derek Carr, man. Like, honestly. Panthers, I just can't with Bryce Young, bro. Like, honestly. Like, I want to put the Panthers a little bit higher than they've been, but I just don't think Bryce Young is good. I'm sorry. I just don't think he's good. I'm sticking with the Bucs for now, although you can talk me into the Falcons. I think it's a two-team race. I think it's Falcons or Bucs. I think the Bucs are just, they've got an it factor to them, and I think Baker is better than given credit for, and I think their defense is the best in the division. So the Saints defense is pretty good too, but the Bucs, I just think they've got a good combination to me of solid offense, solid defense, solid quarterback play, cohesion, experience. The Falcons, I think they've got a good offense, but a very flawed defense, and they've got a new coaching staff, a quarterback coming off a major injury, a lot more questions than Tampa, but you can debate that. I feel like the Saints, I'd still have it ahead of Carolina. I can't with Bryce.
Second best offensive line in football. It's hard not to be a playoff team when you have that good of an offensive line. Bucs have made the playoffs 4 straight years. Baker is more than capable. Carolina, Saints, not very good. I don't like New Orleans' situation right now, coaching at all.
Okay, so in the playoffs, he has the Commanders. Goodness me. The Packers are last. Okay. The Niners, I don't know if he did that on purpose. I don't know. I don't know if they're the 7 seed or what. You think the Commanders are going to have a better record than the Green Bay Packers? Bro, send me your drugs. The Eagles first, the Falcons second. I don't know if this is in order. He thinks the Falcons are going to be the second best team in the NFC? Ultra's having a field day. The Lions and the Rams. Man, there's so much wrong with that NFC in my opinion. I can't agree. I can't agree. I just can't. The AFC isn't that bad, but that's just my...
NFC.
You guys let me know what you think. He has another minute in this video? Or no, 30 seconds.
Playoff teams, Eagles, Falcons, Lions, Rams, Niners, Commanders, Packers are wildcard teams, but only 2 new playoff teams. So the problem...
Okay, interesting. So if I were to say new playoff teams in the NFC, I think NFC East probably won't have any. If you know, one departs, it'll probably be Dallas. NFC North, I think we'll send Green Bay and Detroit again. Maybe the Bears. Maybe. But probably not. The NFC South could have a new playoff team if Atlanta beats out Tampa, which is probably going to come down to the last game. The NFC West, I think Seattle could make it. And I think Atlanta could make it as a wild card. I also feel like... yeah, that's probably it, to be honest. So that's kind of how I think the NFC is pretty straightforward, honestly. But that's it, guys. So very interesting. You guys let me know in the comment section below what you thought of Colin's predictions. If you want to see predictions from yours truly on where I stand for teams going into the playoffs, let me know in the comments, and Gronk spike the like button. All right. See you later. Peace.